on location at one of our installations at Webb Windows and Doors Direct. What we're doing is replacing all these wood windows inside of this home. One of the things we're going to talk about today is the energy efficiency of all of these windows. Come on, let's go inside. We'll take a look. Now let's just talk about the plastic on windows. What people are doing is when they put plastic, they're trying to cut down on the draft coming through the window. But plastic does very little of anything to do with energy efficiency. Not only that, look at the aesthetics on the window. It really doesn't look that good. So let's just take this plastic off, because you can really feel the air just pouring through this window into the house. So let's just get this out and just get it out of your house. Let's talk about the energy efficiency of glass. Now the best thing we can do is go down to a hardware store and get yourself a heat lamp. And what you do is you plug it in, you put it on the outside of your glass. You turn it on. If your heat of that lamp comes through the glass, that is conduction. And what's happening is that's the transfer of heat, which works on the inside in the wintertime, where the heat goes through the glass outside of the window. The other thing we want to talk about is the draft around the window. The drafts just come right through the edges. All the cold air pours through the window. Therefore, all of your heat is always turned on and generating money. Not only that, in the wintertime, this heat coming up towards the window goes right to the surface of this glass. And with the conduction goes right out, just like that heat lamp test. At Webb Windows and Doors Direct, our window is going to solve all of your problems. The conduction problem and the loss of heating and cooling through the glass. It's going to solve the draft or the convection along the outside of your window. It's going to solve the maintenance issue and security. But not only that, it's going to enhance the beauty and the aesthetics of your product. At Webb Windows and Doors Direct, you get more window for less money. One of the things I want to point out is when we do an install, you can see that the new window will fit into this exact opening. Therefore, there is no disturbance to the interior trim or any of the wall or drywall on the inside of the home. One of the many things we find in a wood removal is a lot of rotted wood. Before the new window gets installed, we will actually replace the rotted wood and then cap it and silicone it when the window is installed. Now here's the old window where we took out of the opening with all the chip painting and all the glazing falling out of the window. Just a maintenance nightmare for the homeowner. And you can see all the flower beds and the landscaping still intact from the first time we got here. And now the final installation of your replacement window. Not only is the window in place and thoroughly secure, but also installation of all the coil around the outside, eliminating any type of maintenance. Remember this window? Looks beautiful, doesn't it? 18 windows done in one day. Another great installation done by Webb Windows and Doors Direct. Here we are at another installation at Webb Windows and Doors Direct. And on this home, what we're doing is replacing the aging aluminum windows on the first floor, as well as something very common today where we're actually replacing the vinyl replacement window installed just a few years ago. Let's go in and take a look at the problems of both windows. One of our more common installations at Webb Windows and Doors Direct is a vinyl replacement window, where we're actually taking these windows out and replacing them with our window. Now, one of the major problems is in the sill line. We're actually in this, you can see how the weather stripping just starts to wear off and come on only in a couple of years. And what happens when that sill, especially on a flat sill, and that window is shut, there's absolutely no energy efficiency. All the draft is coming right through the sill, losing all of your energy costs. Not only that, in the meeting rail itself, when this window is actually shut, you can see there is no interlock here, and there's no interlock here, as well as no interlock on the sides and no interlock on this side. Where when this window is actually shut, air draft is coming up here, 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 and over here. A lot of air draft coming through that vinyl replacement window, as well as the header. Now in the header, you can see not only does the bottom window have an interlock, but on the top sash, you have to reach up. Just like in that product demo I was showing you, you actually have to try to reach up and grab both of the interlock to try to tilt this window in the clean. But you can see here, these are also cheap plastic. Now this one didn't give yet, but look at the one on the bottom sash. this one is actually broken off. So when this one actually goes back into the frame, it doesn't even lock, which is a problem for a lot of air draft and safety hazards. Now, one of the biggest problems with replacement, could you imagine putting a brand new replacement window in your home, and now you went to shut it, and when you shut it, the top sash actually dropped down, where now this lock does not even line up, or this lock doesn't line up. So on every window, you not only have to push this down and then push this up to try to line up the lock to lock it into place. Again, lots of air draft and just cumbersome to operate. This homeowner, like a lot of homeowners, thought that all vinyl windows are created equally. When you look at the draft in the sill and the draft in the meeting rail along with the header and all that energy loss, along with the glass pack and the conduction of the heating and cooling coming right through the glass pack, what's happening is this window has nothing to do with energy efficiency and is actually costing you money. How many times do you want to do this job? When you do your replacement windows, don't do it with an inferior product. Do it with a quality product with Webb Windows and Doors Direct. Now let's take a look at the aluminum windows downstairs. Remember, this customer had the vinyl replacement windows upstairs that we took out, and now we come down to the downstairs where the aluminum windows are. We're trying to take those out. The biggest problem with aluminum windows is they get really cold in the wintertime. And what happens is the heat in your house tries to heat that up. Therefore, all the moisture and condensation and the sweating takes place in the wintertime as the heat transfers through and tries to warm up the aluminum. The other issue is we talk about just the cumbersome use of the window. These windows are so hard to open. Just to try to unlatch the window, you have to push down to unlock this to get this window up. So the operation of these windows is very, very difficult. A big area where a lot of window manufacturers cut cost is on the screen. And you can see how it just, all the draft and the bugs and the insects all gets trapped right inside of the frame. Not only that, when you shut it, the frame has gotten so far out of whack that this one on this side doesn't even latch. Therefore, you have major draft coming through your windowsill. Again, a lot of energy loss in your home. As we can see, this window also has a double pane. It's a double pane window with about a 1-inch dead air space inside. But one of the issues is this aluminum spacer bar inside. That seal inside of there can break. And that's where you get all the condensation inside of the glass back and loses your energy efficiency. So what happens is, even if we take the heat lamp and we put this heat lamp outside, that heat would just transfer right through that glass pack. Again, creating a lot of energy uses on the air conditioning to try to cool your home. At Webb Windows and Doors Direct, we want to make sure that we give them the maximum energy efficiency on a window. Not only that, they want the window to last a lifetime. At Webb Windows and Doors Direct, you get more window for less money. What we want to do is show you the installation of the new Webb Window and Door Direct window. Now the key thing is when measuring the window, we measure the window to fit perfectly in the opening, actually creating a custom fit to maximize energy efficiency. Once the frame is screwed into place and fastened so the window frame is secure, we then install the upper sash first, put the upper sash in, and then install the lower sash. Line it up, frame it up to make sure the reveal and everything is perfect right down here. And you can see how the sash of the Webb Window and Door Direct Window Diamond Series, this sash has the magnetic strip. This magnetic strip in this sash goes right down into this pocket sill. If we move over here, you can see the finished product. Now once the window is set into place, what happens is we use all PVC coil. The PVC coil will last you a lifetime. And you can see all the 45s on each one of the window is perfect, just to give you that picture look. And not only that, you can see no face nails anywhere. Remember the old aluminum window here in the opening? The installation is so key to an aluminum removal, because that old aluminum window has flanges, and those metal flanges are behind the drywall. So removing that window takes a lot of care and concern for the homeowner's home. Therefore, it's all custom fit, making for a nice, smooth, and clean installation. On the outside of the window, you can now see that the window is completely installed. Not only with the capping, but you can see the silicone bead coming right down, ensuring the energy efficiency of the window and also beautifying the home. 11 windows installed in one day by Webb Windows and Doors Direct. Not only successful, but solving the problems the homeowner had before we got here. Again, more window for less money.